Yes, almost impossible these days, right? So back in the day in like a factory style, one person's directing you, telling you how to do it, and has pre-planned everything. Physical safety was very important, but psychological safety not as much, right? Nowadays, we know that psychological safety is really the basis of everything, so it was really helpful that Google published a bunch of data about that fact, that psychological safety leads to high performance, and you really can't get there without it. Not when you're doing creative, highly interdependent work. And in fact, I'm going to come over here. So this idea we're going to explore today is that basically safety is the foundation of everything. If and only if you master safety, can you get to healthy conflict. And if and only if you master conflict, can you get to commitment. So, you know, a lot of us are in teams and we're like, oh man, you know, nobody's pulling their weight, they're really not committed. That's probably because this didn't happen. But if you do this, you can commit, right? Like you wouldn't get married if you've never had a fight. Would be probably a bad move, right? So you need to be able to fight. Then you can commit. And once you've committed, then you can be accountable and you're willing to do the work of holding someone accountable. Once you can hold someone accountable and you're all holding each other accountable, only then do you get to genius. So it's not something that comes out the gate, it takes some work. So we're going to play a lot today with this and conflict, because this is usually the thing that people have a harder time with. You know, establishing safety, yes, we kind of all know how to do it. Some people a little less, and that's fine. We all come from different backgrounds and how we grew up and stuff. This is really the meat and potatoes. We'll get into that in the second half, but we're going to play first with safety. So if I can direct everybody's attention over here, the first thing I'm going to talk about is just like personal levels of safety. So as an individual feeling safe and what goes on. So there's a model called the Triune Brain, which is basically like saying that in the middle of your brain is kind of the earliest, most old brain, which is known as the Reptilian Brain in this model. And this is really simple. It's just like I exist and I am in a physical body. And that part of your brain is regulating all that stuff. Kind of like, you know, just running the system, and that's it. Like a reptile. Yeah, it just exists. It bites, it does stuff, it reproduces. Not much else going on. No disrespect to reptiles, they're awesome. But on the next level of evolution, we have mammals. More complex behavior. So mammals, they care for their young, they have love, they have relationships, they have little sort of tribes, right? So mammals is on the level of I relate and I connect. So we also have a brain that basically is like the mammal brain. And this is the, you know, you see a little kid. It's why we like to watch YouTube videos of like baby bunnies and stuff. That's the mammal brain all the way. Like, oh, so cute, right? It's the mammal in us that loves that. Reptile would just eat it. Doesn't care. But this one, like, oh, I want to protect it. I want to take care of it. It's so cute. This is the mammal in us. On top of that, we have the next layer of our brain that is sort of like the human layer. And this is the part that's able to have abstract thinking. I think, I plan, I create. Yeah? Sort of the Leonardo da Vinci level is up here. And as humans, we all get to have that. We have that already. But that's where the genius comes from, the creative genius. But, so, problem with this. This guy is in charge of survival on a really binary, basic way. Am I safe or am I not safe? Is this thing going to eat me or am I going to eat it? Do I need to run away? Don't I? It's really basic survival stuff. If this guy does not feel safe, what do you think happens to these two layers? Yeah?
Yeah, they're ignored.
Not important anymore, right? They get overridden. So basically, you cannot relate and connect if you're not feeling safe on this level. And you also cannot think, plan, and create. You can try, and what happens is that the way that you try to relate and connect and the way that you try to think, plan, and create has this flavor of like terror and survival. So it's not that it never happens, it does. But when someone's vibrating in this all the time of not safe, then it comes out through all this. And then my relational behaviors are going to be not safe, and my creative output is also going to be kind of in this not safe sort of vibe, which then propagates and extends it out into the world. So if I'm feeling safe, relaxed, and happy, I can have eye contact, I can care for somebody, we can do something together. This is the kind of behavior you want in a team. But that's this stuff. Yeah, but if I'm not, then I'm going to avoid eye contact, I'm going to do sort of protective behaviors, and that propagates also out in the team. Okay, so what we do in our own physiology affects everyone else. So the good news and the bad news, in a way, is that all this stuff is automatic. So this happens super, super fast. This part of our brain is processing something while this one is like, hello, my name is Holly. But long before I thought of all of that, this thing was deciding, am I safe or not, in a really rapid thing. It's not conscious. That means that if there is a threat perceived in the environment, I don't even have to know that there's a threat on this level or even this level, but my body tells me, you thought there was a threat. And how do I know? Because I'm going to be feeling all these physical things going on in the body. If I pay attention to the body, I'll notice these effects. So, for example, so what happens is I perceive a threat on basically the subliminal level. My brain interprets that signal as a threat. We'll get into that in a moment. Then all these hormones come out. This is automatic. I cannot do anything about this. This has all happened before I even realized what was going on. And then I get all these physical effects. So my heart rate increases. If anybody's wondering, like, oh, I can't remember feeling like that, think about, what if I said, okay, now you come up here and take my place, now you talk, right? No planning. Then you might have this, like, that's this. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit of that, and I'm even prepared, sort of. Yeah, so heart rate increases. Shaking can happen. Slowed digestion, which is why if you're in this state all the time, lots of stomach problems, because you're not digesting your food. Dilated pupils, dry mouth, tunnel vision, right? So this is like, whoo, I'm only focusing on the thing that matters to me right now, and I really, really can't take in anything else. I can't deal with whatever, how you're feeling, Catherine, leave me alone, right? Because I got this threat to deal with. Loss of hearing, which is interesting. Have you ever been like, you're not listening to me, you're not hearing me? It might be because they're in fight flight. They literally cannot hear you. Muscles are ready for action, okay? What am I gonna, and flushed face. So what are the muscles getting me ready to do? Yeah? So if I think I can take you, then it's on. I'll fight you off. If I think I can't take you, run away. 2 options. So there is another one called freeze. I'm not going to get into it right now because basically all you really need to know is that basically your body on the evolutionary level is like, okay, I'm ready to take action. Jump into action. And that it's automatic. So you cannot blame yourself or anyone else for being in this state. It's not like, hey, relax, right? Because that's not, it's going on an automatic level. So why we think certain things are triggers, or why we experience them as triggers, we'll get into that next. But we are going to stop and do an exercise. So